This week episode on Labor Policy Track. Today we shall be talking to a distinguished honorable member who has piloted the affairs of the Labor House Committee in the House of Reps. He has been a champion of labor relations and conducive environment for workers to thrive. We are here right in his office to take on key policy issues where he will be responding adequately to them. May I welcome Honorable Adegboyega Adefarati, Chairman, House Committee on Labor. Welcome, sir.
My name is Dr. Adegboyega Adefarati.
Yes, sir.
As a Southwest Federal Constituency, I'm from Ondo State, Sunshine State. I happen to be the Chairman, House Committee on Labor, Employment and Productivity.
We saw you late last week, with members of your committee. You visited the NLC, had engagement with the NLC leadership. So what's actually the bent of the meeting and the outcome?
First, the meeting was novel. At least the president attested to it that for a very long time, nothing like that has happened. And we believe, the company believe that we're supposed to visit the union. That is not only when we have industrial labor dispute or impasse that we interface with labor. We're supposed to have a very solid working relationship with labor. So that's the essence of the visit. And also additionally, to come and thank the union. Because when there was breakdown or deadlock, when they were discussing the national minimum wage, when they call for strike, the actually of the National Assembly acted as mediator. We invited the executive of the union, and graciously they came, they honored our invitation, and we pleaded with them that they tabled their demands, their grievances, and we pleaded with them that we should allow us to intercede. And we asked them that you should call off the strike. I think the meeting was on Sunday. We started meeting around 3 p.m. and ended the editor and maybe 9 in the evening. They told us that they don't have the power to call off the strike unless the NEC empowers them to do that. So we asked them that they should, on our honor, that they should call off the strike. And the second or third day, they did that. And we were very grateful and appreciative of listening to us, at least honoring us and calling off the strike there.
You've stated very salient points between you and labor movement. What has hindered some kind of labor reforms? Because some believe that labor reforms are overdue. So what is actually stampeding such reform from coming to be, sir, as policy makers?
I think one of our mandates is the area of legislation is to make laws, amend laws, repeal laws. And we told the president on Friday when we came that we realized that there are so many obsolete, colonial, archaic labor laws that be existing. Nothing has been done about it. And they told us that they are working on it. But that day, we agreed that we set up an ad hoc committee to liaise with labor and let us know how the laws, areas where we can come in to amend those laws. Those laws are, we are in the area of STI and AI. So many of STI, science, technology, and innovation and AI. So there are so many things that we need to reform, to repeal, to amend those laws. Because contemporary issues can't compare what's happening, how we handle labor dispute, labor resolution of 1950, 1960 compared to what's happening today, even the labor conditions of our workers. Can't compare it all because everything is dynamic. Things are changing, so we need to change most of these laws that we are operating with.
So there's a willingness on the part of the policymakers to actually engage in these reforms.
That's why that's one of the reasons why we came over to
clearly seen.
So as this, that's our job. That's our job. That's why we say we should set up an ad hoc committee. Let's all see the law areas where we can come in. If it's through by private bill or executive bill, let us know how we go about it. But I can assure you that we are ready. The committees, we are ready for anytime they are ready. Let us have the laws that they want us to act to work on.
Okay, sir. Before your committee comes in and having joint meetings with the NLC leadership to see areas that policymakers could assist, there's a very important one that borders all workers, and it has to do with the judiciary. Anytime an NLC wants to take an action that borders workers, you see a lot of root shock injunction trying to put a stop to those very important actions. Not necessarily a strike action, but maybe a protest action. Are you also looking at navigating and touching on those laws that border such kind of...
like I said, let us have the laws affecting labor. In either of maybe what you just mentioned about judiciary, about executive, let us know what we can do to assist them. Instead of, like I used to say, strike should be the last weapon in any industrial dispute or impasse. Let's need to discuss. Let us sit down. Let us have your grievances. Like I want to appreciate the president and the union for their zeal of patriotism when they are discussing the issue of this mandatory minimum wage. At that time, I want to commend the Mr. President for using his common trait of negotiating, of solving the impasse. And apart from that, even reducing the periodic year of review from 5 to 3 years. Very soon we still start under exercise. So, and with the rate of inflation, it needs to be reviewed periodically instead of 5 years, maybe even 2 3 years.
Yes,
so that's the issue of inflation.
I seem to agree with you, Honorable Chair, because people have argued that despite the intervention of Mr. President and his skill of negotiation, that the gains of the current minimum wage have been eroded, and looking at it critically, as you made mention of inflation and several factors, we can go ahead talk about the hike in tariff, like you also, your humble chamber here made a very strong statement against. And also, we talk about several policies that has to do with electricity tariff. You just move some people from band B or band C to band A. These things are eroding the gains. 70,000 naira.
I want to, let me come in here. This 70,000 is not a living wage. Yeah. We are going towards that. Very soon, we get there. I can assure you. I can assure you that very soon. Maybe the next exercise, we move towards having a living wage for our workers. When you are talking of reforms, when you introduce reforms, we undergo so many, I won't call it hardship, but it's not easy to change what you have used to before. That's why you call it reform. And when you are undergoing reform, things that are not be happening before, we see that the issue of electricity, tariff, all these things are new initiative. We cannot continue to live as like we living in 1960. That we are used to getting things free. Though some of these are social services that can be rendered by the government, but at the same time, we have gone past this age now. It cannot be, unless we don't want the country to move forward. Let's be that this, we need to put in some reforms. Though it's painful now, but I can assure you, very soon, it's going to be a thing of I can tell you that Nigeria will smile there every day. You see what will happen. I trust my president. Well, I trust my president. He won't like to inflict pain on Nigerians. But I trust him that he's going to fix it. And very soon you will see positive effect of the reforms. I can assure you of that.
Okay, sir. Let me take a leap from reforms and issues that you shared. Very strong conviction about, because you are assuring workers that very soon Nigerian workers will smile. But distinguished honorable, workers will argue that this is 2 years to this administration's takeoff. Is there no, rather than having these reforms being loaded on workers as sacrifice, because workers are sacrificing a lot, they would love to ask, to say, is there no window out where workers can breathe?
Nigeria will breathe, don't worry. That's why I said that, like, the next process is the next minimum wage review.
Yes.
We consider all these factors. Like I said, everything is dynamic. Like the inflation is going up, was accepted. So when we are reviewing the next, the minimum wage next time, we consider all these factors and embedded it into our discussion before we arrive at a new minimum wage for our workers. And like I said, it's not yet a rule, but I'm new towards having our workers having a living wage.
Living wage.
A living wage. It's very important. Even for the Mr. Speaker, that's the champion for that. At least they deserve, our workers deserve living wage. Wages, they deserve it.
Okay. Moving on, Chair. Let's move on from reforms to talk about unemployment in Nigeria. The rate of unemployment in Nigeria is massively high.
It's global. It's not Nigeria alone.
But
it's global.
Peculiar to our nation.
It's global. It's not Nigeria. Very soon, some programs will be coming up. I've discussed with the Minister of Labour, Minister of State Labour.
That's where I was going to. The initiatives taken to.
They will soon launch this LEAP, Labour Employment and Engagement Program.
Okay.
And this, according to the Honourable Minister of State for Labour, we're going to take care of about 2.5 million youths every year.
2.5?
Yes.
Wow.
That is the idea of the program, and very soon it will be launched by Mr. President. So with that, we can take people out of the street. If I engage 2.5 million youths every year.
Sorry, Chair, I want you to shed more light. Are they going to be artisans? Are they going to be absorbed into the federal workers?
Cannot be, no, they don't have capacity for federal workers. Going to be skilled, maybe it depends on areas you want to go into, like maybe all this fintech, or fintech, agri, a lot of things like that. You should move away from white collar job. The only thing now is the fintech and agri. There are so many value chains in the agri sector. So in order to be a farmer, to be in the agri sector, can be even branding, engineering, and even all this apart from being the real farmer, there are a lot of value chain go through even supply of inputs. There's a lot of things that people can get into.
Some thought, Mr. Chairman, let me come in here. Some thought might say, okay, lofty ideas, nice ideas, but do we have the environment that encourage this action you want to drive employment with. The environment such as power. You know, relatively, if you're talking about fintech and things that have to do with technology, it depends so much on power. Right now, some areas doesn't even have. Some that have been charged exorbitantly. How does somebody trying to thrive on a new skill in that range survive? Some will argue that pattern. Are you looking about sustainability of those programs at the end of the day?
Like I said, we are undergoing reforms. I can assure this thing will be a thing of the past. We can fix our electricity, fix other things, but in the next 2-3 years, we'll be comfortable. And that time, at least the program we are starting now is not that we are starting immediately. They go for training. Yeah, even some doesn't have to go do with doesn't have to do with fintech alone. Like I said,
there are other skills.
Other skills like NDE now. That of employment. There are so many vocational skills that our youth can get involved with, engage with. So we are looking at that area. Like last year, NDE they started their own new Hope Agenda employment scheme. I think there about 94,000 people were. Wow. Yes, 94,000 people were recruited. Yes, about 94,000 people. So gradually we are gradually we'll be getting our people out of the street. It's not of the white collar job. It's not easy to can't fix 94,000. Apart from that, even the last exercise of even the white collar job you are talking about. Last year, I think Federal Fire Service alone, it did about 2,005 youths. And I'm aware this year they are recruiting the immigration, civil defense, fire, and what's the other? Prison. They are going to school at 30,000 youths. So it's not a one day journey. It's a process. It's a process. It's not an event. It's a process. So we need to be patient with this government. Please, I'm begging Labour. Please be patient with this government. I can assure you, it's our government. It's our government. It's not our government. It's our government. So, and I know our president has the interest of the nation at that.
The issue of minimum wage. The minimum wage has been signed into law.
It's a law.
But there are still states that have made it upon themselves not to pay. With the argument to say they don't have enough to pay. Do you seem to agree with that?
No, like I said, it's a law. I told the president when we came visiting on Friday or so. The national minimum wage is a law and must be complied, was obeyed by everybody. Like I told the president that any area the problem we have is the penalty for defaulters. You should do something about it. You should maybe next month we should amend it to make it more stringent. At least I think the penalty is around 250,000 or something, which is not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's nothing. If you can make it more stringent, at least make it. At least many states we have to comply by force, because it was surprising me. That subsidy are still paying 18,000, 30,000.
Yes.
No, it's not. Because we believe that some states are doing very fine. I can talk of Rivers, Lagos, even my state, Ondo State, they're paying over 70,000 naira. So I think other states should try and set their priority right. This thing is about priority. If your priority is worker friendly to worker, you'll be able to actually pay any amount for. So far, you know how to balance your priority.
Yes.
maybe instead of using 70% of capital, maybe or 80% of capital, can reduce to 60%, take 40% for your current. So I think you should be able to balance that priority way.
I see your suggestions about recommendations on the, the penalties that should be given to states that, are still owing workers and are not able to pay minimum wage. There should be, hence is in law, there should be penalties. But as chairman of the committee, let's share your opinion, sir. Going forward, what do you think should be the minimum penalty for those guys?
No, I can't just sit down.
No, it's an opinion.
It's an opinion, but I need to take, when it comes to issues like that, it's a policy issue. Yeah. Policy issue. I need to sit down with my members and even with Labour. We should have a joint decision. It's, like I said, it's the president, let us know. You are the one that the veteran. Let me put it that way.
And you are a voice.
You are a voice. So let's sit down and marshal the right one, what we can do. Because if I say my opinion now, it's not binding. But I will discuss with members and with Labour Union. Let's have a firm opinion of what should be done to defaulters. It's better. They're no better than us. They're no better than us. I'm not a Labour person. But now I'm a comrade. Before I was not a comrade. I'm not, my position as chairman Labour, yes. I'm not a comrade now. So it's people like your president that can say, this is what you should do, and they should bring their opinion. We buy into it. Okay. Let us have the idea. They buy into it. So we sit down, and when we want to amend the next minimum wage, we should to start it and have a very stringent penalty for defaulters. This is better that way.
So looking at, let me shift back to unemployment issue. You made mention that you're working with the Ministry of Labor, right? So people will wonder to say, there are these workers who have traversed the working relations in the formal sector. Employability has become an issue because of skill. Your committee bringing up initiative also with the Ministry of Labor to look at how they could reskill workers in terms of getting them with the training.
Like before you go, right now we have about 84 vocational centers in Nigeria, and most of these places have been abandoned. So there was a motion move about 4 or 5 weeks ago by a member that if the centers should be retooled, should be activated. So we have, if you can freeze those centers, 84 centers, our youth can go there and even we can train them from maybe in the area of sewing, tailoring, soap making, any skill they want to acquire. But our idea is that let's all freeze all these skill centers. There's no state that doesn't have one acquisition center. So if you can freeze them and retool them, at least our youth we are use that one to train our youth in skill acquisition.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, just last question. Although we've seen you take a step towards that direction, towards fostering labor relations and getting the gains thereafter. But some people will argue that, Mr. Chairman, the Honorable House have not been that proactive. Instead, it has been reactive. The states that when there are industrial disputes between government and labor, some people argue that you always wait till the last drop of the blow before you come into the intervention platform. Do we hope to see a quick one?
Firstly, we are not the executive. Our role is mediation.
Yeah.
And that's why we engage ourselves in that visit. That you have a working relationship with labor. Not that when we have issues that we should be seeing labor. So to have a working, robust relationship, working relationship that's perfect. So with that, we can move forward. It's not that when we labor call off strike, we are labor come, let's discuss. No, 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 no. Like I've told you, I told Mr. President, we are ready for any time. I just if there is anything, we are just for our job. When we went for the visit, the president said it's rare for a committee to visit, to working. So anything they want to do, they should carry us along. We are there for them. Same time before I conclude, let me thank the union for their seed of patriotism. I won't condemn them for, but let's strike with their last weapon when handling just for this. Thank you very much.
I'm very sure that your message will be sent loud and clear to the leadership. It has been lovely speaking to our Honorable Asiwaju Adegboyega Adefarati. He is a champion of very cordial labor relations. He has spoken on a key number of issues on this episode. We are very sure that he will be back on the show sometimes when we bring him back, and we know he will avail us the opportunity. Thank you, sir. It has been nice speaking with you. Thank you.
Thank you.